Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Scott here from ArmsportVideos. Recently, I got to travel to the Ottawa Open, hosted by Eric Roussin, and wow, what a tournament! 467 entries, I think was the total count. Long day, some great matches. I will get to start editing very, very soon. In the meantime, the night before the tournament, I got to sit down and have a small chat with Eric himself. And I know most of this stuff isn't as relevant because the tournament has already taken place. But this was before the tournament. But I thought you might still like to enjoy listening to Eric and what he had to say. He talks about the incentives that he offered for this tournament. Um, but anyway, let's let Eric speak for himself. And it was a real privilege for me to get to go up there and film the tournament for you all to get to watch and enjoy a bit later. But in the meantime, here's Eric Roussin. Thanks. Hey everybody, Scott here from ArmsportVideos. Thanks for tuning in. As you can see, my guest is the host and the organizer of the Ottawa Open here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Eric Roussin. Eric, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Scott.
Um, so, Eric, how long have you been involved in arm wrestling now?
Since 96. So
96.
So 26 years.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
10, 11 years less than me. Damn.
You'll get there, but then you'll keep the 11-year advantage.
I doubt that very much. I'm not sure how many years I have left. So, um, so Eric has pulled, he's arm wrestled, he's hosted nationals, he's organized. You do a lot of grip strength training now. So I'm assuming the Ottawa Open, you're making a comeback basically after Canada was locked down for the COVID shutdown for 2 years, right? Is this what's happening now?
Yeah, so the Ottawa Open 2019 was scheduled for late March 2020. And
Okay.
as we know, everything shut down less than 2 weeks before. So it was a big heartbreak. Not for everyone who was looking forward to it. For me, I'd been planning for 6 months, heavily promoting it. And to get that canceled right there, and my hands are tied, obviously. We didn't have a choice.
No.
But so now, this spring, late spring, when things were looking better in terms of restrictions, I'm like, okay, well, I knew we were having provincials and tournaments were starting to happen again. So I said, okay, I don't want to wait till March because I don't want lockdowns to start again. So I'm like, I want to do it this year. I need some time to prepare for it.
Sure.
But I chose November because it seemed like a pretty good date at the time. So this is it. So this tournament is 3.5 years in the making, basically.
and and I mean, and you're in the same boat as all the other people
Right.
out there that were trying to promote it. But what a pain in the ass! I mean, for you guys that have to put everything on hold for
Right.
however long. But so reading some of the things that you have happening online. So just give us a brief rundown of weight classes and categories, that type of thing.
So there's 4 divisions. Youth is up to 17 years of age, so under 18.
Under 18, okay.
And that there's no set classes. I will arrange classes based on participation. So we will have kids as young as possibly 4 or 5, all the way to 17.
Okay.
Different sizes, different weights. So I will take the full list and I'll divide them into 6 or 7 or 8 categories as equally as I can. Obviously, it'll never be perfect because, but I will say that I take age more into account than weight because even a big 13-year-old will not compete against a 17-year-old. So
Yeah.
so that my main category is try to keep the ages together.
Yeah.
Below 10 or 11, the boys and girls are together. Above that, puberty hits, so you split up the girls and the boys. So that's the youth division. That's free to compete.
Oh, it's free for the kids.
Yeah, and
Nice.
there are nice coins, not I guess medals, sort of like in a nice coin display for the top 3 in every class, and then there are special prizes, draw prizes as well for the kids.
Okay, cool.
Then there's the novice. I call it novice, basically because to me, pro signifies cash money, and this tournament is not a cash money. There are some incentives, but it's nice awards. So
Yeah.
I prefer to call it open. Anyone can compete in the open division.
Okay.
Novice is for newer or more people who have limited experience. I don't set a hard definition because there are exceptions to every rule. People will say, well, you say 3 years less, but I competed once in not 2018. Am I a novice, or I competed? You know, there's so many different exceptions. So I let people self-identify. I say, listen, it's designed for newer poolers, so you should have at most about a handful of events under your belt. And not that if you've been winning them, obviously novice is no longer for you.
Yes.
But I'm looking for people to self-identify. Most of the people who came in during COVID, I consider are probably mostly novice because a lot of them have been pulling practice, but still competing is fairly new. So for the most part, I'm fine with them being novice because at most they could have competed only a couple of times anyway. But it's a self-identify. And the threshold I use is if you feel weird about entering the novice class, that means enter the open.
And
you know what I mean? So I'm hoping I don't, I reserve the right to step in if I see blatant abuse. But I've run the class like this the last couple of times in 2018, 19, and I think it went pretty well.
Okay.
So there's only 3 weight classes though. So 165, 210 and up. Novice, there's fewer classes, but I like big classes, and it is what it is. It worked very well the last couple of times. So right, left, and there's a novice open women's, so left and right, novice women.
Okay, but it's just an open class. Okay.
Yeah. If you want more granularity, well, actually, before I get there, there's the Grandmasters. Grandmasters, so 50 and up, born in 1972 or earlier. I'm going by the year for that one. And same weight classes, 165, 210 and up, right, left. There's no women's Grandmasters just because there's not enough participation.
Right.
And that's, so both the novice and the Grandmasters, it's nice little awards. They're not the big bisons, but they are fairly nice mini sculptures, I guess you can say. Top 3 in every class. And then the Open, that has 150, 165, 185, 210, 240 and up, right and left. And women, it's 150 and under and over 150. Anyone can compete. If you've seen the bison trophies, they're pretty nice. They're a foot tall. They weigh about 10 pounds. They're designed for this event. You can only get them at the Ottawa Open. So if you've seen pictures of those and you want one, here's where you have to come to compete.
I've seen it. So all I've seen is the pictures.
Yeah.
So have you seen Steve Pettis' Gorillas?
It's the same company makes the same
Okay,
thing.
so they're roughly the same size?
Yes.
Okay, and I thought your bisons are super cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them in person yet,
Yeah.
but the pictures look great. Steve's Gorillas look very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they look so similar that
we all sort of follow. WAL started this with the unique awards 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we all use the same supplier.
Oh,
so
okay.
the bulldogs you've seen, or there's a few different that you've seen, we're all using the same company because they do a really good job, custom design, and then you reserve the rights. They're just for you, right? So you can get some really nice awards now. So
that's really cool though that it's only so your bisons are only for you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right.
So,
the problem is they're made in the States and I have to pay for the shipping and then the taxes and everything. So it gets expensive. That's why I can't give it to every class. But for the Open, I wanted a special award because to win the Open is an achievement. It's not going to be an easy tournament to win. So if you place top 3 in the Ottawa Open, I think you should need an award to represent the achievement.
You know what's saving the heavyweight class this week is that Devin has a match next week in Turkey.
Yeah,
he's
not pulling. He'll be there all day, but just cheering people on.
And you know what? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he entered left-handed.
Yeah, well,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Is it advisable? That's entirely up to him. But it wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Right.
But
there's a lot of other fun stuff with the Open. Is that every single win you get $5. So and that helps the score table as well. So if you win your match, go to the score table, give your name, and you get a $5 bill. So the more you win, the more money you make.
No wonder. Yeah. So I'd want to be in a big class, especially if I'm one of the favorites to do well. Yeah. I'd want a 25-person class, right? Really? Well, you're giving me $5 every time I get a win?
Yeah, exactly. So
wow.
it's not big money, but it's money that you wouldn't get otherwise, and more money for food and drink. And
absolutely.
So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to trying that for the first time. And also, whether you're in the novice or the Grandmasters or the Open, everyone you get as well, you get a ticket. At the end of the night, I'm going to do a draw. And however many entries there are in the tournament, so if there's 200 entries, the winner will get $200. If there's 300 entries, the winner will get $300. If there's 400 entries, the winner will get $400. So that's just an added bonus. You win a match, you get a ticket, so the more matches you win, the more tickets you get, the better your odds at winning the little cash prize at the end of the night. So
that's really cool. Yeah. That's really cool. Well, the $5 a win, plus however many entries that you're matching that dollar for dollar, that's kind of cool too.
It's all little things. It's not huge things, but they're fun. I think it makes the tournament fun. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Like I was just in Boston. I covered the New England Championships, and the guy, they did an overall there, and it was $800 first place. So the guy that wins it, he won right hand, he won left hand, plus they were giving away cash for the top 3 in the pro classes.
Right.
I think he went home with $2,100 or something in cash.
Good day.
Right, that's not a bad day. And look, there's not big money in arm wrestling
right.
unless you're on that
Yeah.
super elite level.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. You must have some sponsors. You want to give a shout out to a couple? Or?
I don't have sponsors.
You're the sponsor.
I take a lot of financial risk, but it's a lot of, to me, I see this as a big party, and I have a pretty good sense that the turnout will be pretty good tomorrow. Yeah. And you know, I travel a lot to tournaments, although I don't have to travel to this tournament, so I save $1,000 right there.
Yeah.
And you know what? To me, it's a big party, and I really like to do this. I do one tournament a year, and it's a big fun extravaganza. And if I end up losing a bit, doesn't bother me too much. You know, obviously I don't want to lose.
Well, no, yeah.
But you know, I'm feeling pretty good. I used to do, like 15 years ago, I did a couple of big money tournaments.
Okay.
And those I did take a bath, and they're like, okay, the money stuff without a sponsor, it's not worth the risk. So awards is a little safer, and a lot of the stuff I'm doing, like the $5 and the $1, it's all the more entries, it offsets. So it's like if there's few entries, then that prize is only for $50. You know, it's
right.
So it's a lot of these things are scaled, and a lot of the extra incentives in the open division. That's why I'm really pushing the open division. If you're obviously, if you're a new armor, so forget the open. But if you are experienced, you're on the fence, pull the open. It's a lot of fun. Top 2 will get a free entry to their provincials in 2023.
No matter where they're from, whatever province.
Any province. I will reimburse. So it's
yeah.
So you go to provincials, I will see you've been, and I will transfer you an entry fee. You win both arms to the Ottawa, you get 2 entries at provincials, no matter which province you're from.
Because you have also just been giving away free tournament fees, entry fees to this tournament.
At other tournaments.
At other tournaments,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we're trying to snowball, trying to get people to compete. And I like provincials and I like nationals, and every class champ gets a free entry to nationals as well.
Really?
You win your class, not only do you get your provincials entry fee, but you'll also get your nationals. Because I want to drive people out east in 2023.
We want you to drive people out east too. So
right. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody doing.
Yeah,
I've
done it before for a couple of tournaments, but yeah, I think I came up with that idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once again, this is an example of an incentive that I get. If everyone cashes in, yes, it'll cost me more money. I know not everyone will go to nationals, and I know not everyone will go to provincials. But if you do, hey, take me up on my offer, man. I'm happy to do it because it just drives competition, right?
So if I pull the left-hand open division,
yep.
and I win right hand.
Yep.
So that gives me a free entry into my provincials and my nationals.
If you win, yeah.
If I win.
Yeah. If you win, if you got second place, you get just your provincials. Yeah.
What if I decide to go to provincials and only pull left hand?
You get one entry.
One entry.
Per, if you win one arm,
yeah.
You get one entry. If you win both arms, you get 2 entries.
Yes.
So
okay.
That's how it goes.
Okay. So I'm not limited to. I have to compete in the same class at my provincials type of thing.
Not for that.
Not for that. Okay.
Now for the trifecta thing. So I have this little challenge called the Canadian Arm Wrestling Trifecta. If you win the Ottawa Open in an open division class,
yeah,
left or right, and then you win with the same arm at your provincials. So,
okay.
So you win the 185 left at the Ottawa Open. You win the 185 or equivalent, 198 or whatever.
Yeah.
Win a class at your provincials with the same arm, and then if you can do it again at nationals, the same arm in open, the senior division, you'll get $1,000 reimbursed.
Really?
Now, if more than one person does it, they split the pot.
They split the money.
But so far, I've offered this. I've offered this in the past, and in 2019, a puller from Quebec called Xavier Marchildon, he did it. So he won Ottawa Open, Quebec Provincials, and Nationals, and he got the money to himself.
He's the only one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know who I thought popped into my head right away that you would say is the Ontario Ironman himself, Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Just because he goes to so many tournaments, I thought he'd be a good.
He's got a shot for sure.
A good shot at it.
Curtis Cameron, these guys. Curtis Cameron's got a good shot. If he lives in Ottawa, and he's one of the favorites to win. So there are people who can do it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I would. Yeah, Curtis has to be a huge favorite in his weight class on Saturday.
Yeah.
Plus we just saw him at the Canadian Nationals out in Winnipeg
and
did awfully well.
Yeah. There's a lot of poses. Alan Ford, if he was motivated, he could probably do it. Right hand. or at least you get a shot at it, you know. So there's a few people who have a shot. Tyler Bolzan is another Ontario left-hand. If he was to pull the 210 and the 220 at nationals, there are some people who can do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some great incentives.
Yeah.
That really is some great incentives. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't heard of anybody else doing anything like this.
Right.
And then to do that trifecta and just pocket another $1,000 if you're the only guy. Now, of course, if 2, 3, 4 people do it, but
it's unlikely.
Very unlikely.
2 people may, but it's still $500, right?
Yeah. Well, just for going to do something that you love to do anyway.
Exactly.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So what time of day are we starting on Saturday? What time of the day?
So the weigh-ins. So there are weigh-ins depending on when this airs. On Friday night there are weigh-ins from 8 to 9:30, and then Saturday morning the weigh-ins registration start at 10. Kids, they have to weigh in early, so they have till 10:45 to weigh in. So if you're bringing kids, make sure you get there, early enough to register. Anyone who's pulling novice or grandmasters has from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. to register.
Okay.
And anyone who's pulling open has from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I'm not forcing you, if you're pulling open, I know it's a big day, I'm not forcing you to get here at 10 a.m. If you want to get here at 2:30, just don't get here past 3. I don't want to get calls, and I always do, saying I'm stuck on the highway, so plan accordingly, get here on time.
I think you and I both know the same people who kind of do that sort of thing.
Right.
No names mentioned, of course,
Right.
but
Yeah.
so you're expecting. So what time is the first arm wrestling match?
The kids start, if everything goes well, 11:30.
11:30. Okay.
Now I am running 3 tables the whole day.
So even the kids are getting 3 tables.
3 tables. I mean, assuming they all have, unless they all need the small mini table.
Yes, of course, of course.
But I have 3 sizes of tables, so I think we'll be okay. And the kids, I don't know exactly how many kids are coming, but if there are 40 or 50 entries and they pull both arms, it's still going to take a while to run.
Yeah.
So I'm right now I'm planning running the kids from 11:30 to maybe 1:30, novice from 1:30 to 3:30, something like that.
Okay.
And then the open starts around 4. This is rough estimates. It really depends on turnout and how things are going. The other thing that's new for me is tomorrow I'm running I'm using the Corey Miller's brackets to run the tournament.
Yeah.
It's the first time I'm doing it. I'm familiar with the software. I've been testing it, but I'm running it for the first time. And even though I know the software works, it's always it's something new. So I'm hoping everything goes well, and I have backups just in case. If ever I need to go paper, it's an option. But anyway, so hopefully that actually makes things go a little smoother. But running 3 tables, as anyone who's been at nationals or any of these tournaments, there's a lot of action. So sometimes there are moments where you have to take a break and make sure you're not messing anything up. And
No. So at home in Nova Scotia, Rick has been using Corey Miller's system for the past whatever we've been doing since all the restrictions have been lifted.
Okay.
But he's doing that. But we run everything is triple elimination.
Oh, okay.
Right. So for me, just the video guy, logistically, it's a nightmare.
Right.
So you're only running double elimination tomorrow.
Elimination. I don't have time to do 3.
No, not with the amount of people you could have. Yeah. But even with triple elimination, Corey's system has been pretty well glitch free.
Okay.
And the only mistakes have been human error.
Yes, exactly.
That's it. So it's been a really, really nice system to watch, and I do not know how to use it. I've watched Rick, and I've had a couple little tiny lessons. I've never done it in a tournament, but he brings his granddaughter, and he gave her like a 25-minute lesson.
Yep.
She's done.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Yeah.
It says you just have to be alert, and it'll help with people. They're gonna have incentive to come to the score table this time, so to get their $5 bill.
They want their $5, right?
So that'll make sure that we're tagging the right people, So
yeah. But this is your first time using it
in a tournament.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And we're running 3 tables.
3 tables.
All day.
All day, as long as I don't get overly confused. That's the plan.
Are you doing all the draw sheets or the scoring, whatever?
I am doing the scoring.
By yourself?
Yes, because I have it on the computer and it's sort of easier with one screen. I have 2 screens, but I think I'm not too worried about that.
Okay.
I have people helping with giving $5 and giving the tickets, so I have people around me to do some of the other stuff, but the actual scoring I'll be doing.
Okay, and this, of course, this is not going to air until after the tournament is finished, because we're meeting on a Friday before the tournament. I'm not even going to get home till Wednesday night, right? So my thought was just to get cranking on videos right away, put this together and air this. Like, so I was doing a live show on Sunday night's Table Talk,
Yep.
and then recorded stuff. So it is going to air probably next Sunday.
Okay.
At the 7 o'clock Atlantic, so 6 o'clock your time here.
Right. Okay.
And do you have a preference as to what do you want me to start with posting? You want me to start with the pros? You want me to start with the children, kids?
I don't really have a preference. You get things up pretty fast anyway. So
I try to.
So I'm not too worried. I mean, if people really want to see, come to the tournament. You know. So
there you go, folks.
The videos is great, and I love to be able to go and look back and see it. But to me, I'm not in a hurry. The results will be posted very fast.
Yeah.
So the video is obviously fun to watch, but
it's not the same.
I would say do whatever's easiest for you.
Okay. Because what I planned to do when I went to the New England Championships, only because a bunch of people have been screaming about, I don't want to watch the whole weight class, just, take us to the finals. I was going to start with the finals from New England's, but they took every class right to completion.
Okay.
Right? Which is fine.
Right.
Run your tournament whatever way you want.
Right.
So you have to sit through every weight class that I pumped out. But I think I was pumping out like 4 and 5 clips a day.
Right.
So they were getting their stuff pretty quick. But so if you have no preference, I may just cruise along in the order that it happens on that Saturday.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, and you don't care how fast they come out or don't come. I'm not going to do one clip a day, but
no. I know you're doing a lot. So
Yeah.
you go
Just
according to your schedule. That's completely fine with me.
Oh yeah, so we'll get it done. So you're expecting big numbers, especially the open class.
I think the novice and the open. I worry that people worry about the open as being intimidating. The thing is, a lot of the very best. There will be some good pullers, but it's not like all of the top pullers of the nation will be there. So
no,
getting top 3 in this class, yes, it'll be an achievement, but it's not impossible to do. So if I fear people worry that they feel like, no, I'm not novice, but I'm not ready for the open. I say, pull the open. There's no. Of course, it's a big jump when you move from novice or amateur to the pro ranks or the open ranks. But your goal should be, maybe not winning the tournament, but you want to start with
a single win. Yeah.
And then the next time, try a couple of matches. And then you realize if any match you win tomorrow in the open will be a good match. I mean,
for sure.
So I'm hoping the open people aren't too intimidated. But I do feel like if we don't have over 300 entries, I will be surprised. I mean, I just compare this to the Arm Melter in Belleville at the Brockville Rib Fest, which is this past August.
Okay.
This was a tournament. It's an annual tournament, and it has great reputation, and it's fun. It's part of a Rib Fest. But that tournament, I think, had close to 300 entries.
Really?
And it was a regular tournament. It was triple elimination, but it was just it didn't have a lot of the extra bells and whistles that this tournament has. It wasn't promoted as heavily. So if we're already getting almost 300 for that, and here with the Ottawa Club and the Steve Morneau's Gym Max Club, there's over 100 pullers who...
Just in those 2 clubs?
Yeah, who on and off, so there's... I would hope that most of them come. So we should have a... and I always get a lot of really good support from Quebec.
Okay.
Obviously, we're on the border of Ontario, Quebec, but it's usually about 50-50 in terms of half of the pullers are Ontario, half the pullers are Quebec.
Oh, really?
And a sprinkling from the U.S. as well.
Okay, so you expect some U.S. pullers?
There's always a few. I don't really know of who's coming up this time.
Okay.
There are a lot of tournaments happening just these days in general. I know tomorrow, I think there's 5 tournaments in North America. A lot of them are pretty big. There's the John Brezink Cup that Bob is organizing out in
Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
It's at his bar. Cheers to you.
Yes.
I don't think that's right in Salt Lake. Midvale.
Maybe.
Midvale,
yeah.
Utah.
I think there's a tournament in San Diego. There's one in Nashville tomorrow, a PAL tournament. So there's tournaments a little everywhere. So I can obviously not everyone can go to everyone. And then in any given region, there's a lot of regular tournaments. So obviously you can never get everyone.
Yeah.
But I do feel pretty good about the tournament tomorrow.
But you should get a good core of the Ontario pullers.
I would think so, at least this side of Toronto. On the other side of Toronto, I'm never quite sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, because it is a 4 or 5 hour drive, but hopefully, I don't know. I just feel I've done a lot for this tournament, and I think built up a lot of excitement. So I am eager to see. I'll have an idea how many people come this evening.
What time do weigh-ins start this evening?
At 8 o'clock.
They start at 8.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was talking to Dave Campbell earlier, who's going to referee for you.
Yeah.
This is a huge place. It's like a couple of levels high or something?
It's on the second level. It's a 20,000 square foot pool hall / sports bar.
Okay.
And we're in one little area, but even our little area is huge. So it's a big space just for us. Normally they have 5 or 6 ping pong tables. So
Yeah.
there are the ping pong tables. That's where we'll put the arm wrestling, and then we're going to be all around. So I would recommend, if you do want a chair, you probably want to get there earlier. There's plenty of room, but I'd say not seating for hundreds. There's seating for maybe 100 or 150. Aside from that, it's a huge place though. I mean, the capacity is over 500 people. It's 20,000 square feet. It's a big place.
That is, that's a big place.
Yeah, and parking is where I used to do this tournament was at a smaller bar, and we had outgrown it. Parking was everything was an issue.
Oh,
so
really?
now it's a new spot, huge, plenty of parking. So the logistics should be a lot smoother this time. Yeah.
Okay, so weigh-ins are start at 10?
Tomorrow will start at 10.
The most important question for me is, so what time can I get in to start setting up?
I'm there as of 8, so you get up whenever you want.
Okay.
I'm there at 8 a.m. to set up the sound system because I'm using speakers for the MC. John's doing the MC.
Uncle John Thompson from Nova Scotia is in town. Yeah.
Setting up my computer for the brackets, setting up the weigh-in area. So I'm there at 8. The doors open to the public at 9:30.
Okay.
And the weigh-in start at 10.
Okay, because I just like to get set up and then be out of the way.
Yeah.
So I'll probably show up around 9:30 to set up.
Just send me a message and I'll make sure the door will be open for you.
Okay, that's perfect. So potentially in the room tomorrow, you've got Uncle John, Devin, Evan, John Milne.
Yeah.
Shenanigans are going to be afoot, I would say. Just those 4 guys alone will be.
Well, if you Devin likes to bet on matches, but he's notoriously not very good at it.
Yeah. No.
So if you want to make some money off Devin, that's your option.
Oh, geez. Oh, that's.
Evan won't be doing too much. He's one of the refs.
No, Evan's.
So.
I was going to say Evan's refereeing, right?
Yeah.
So give us a rundown on the referees as well.
Dave Campbell.
Yeah.
Evan Burgoyne, Tony Brooks, Joe Gould.
Joe. Okay.
Rick Blanchard.
Rick.
Jeff Slater.
Tony
Brooks.
And Tony Brooks.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got an extra
to keep swapping in and out.
like an FP breaks and stuff. Because really, once you get started, you really don't want to.
I want to take,
just roll.
I will have to take some breaks at some point,
course.
But as much as possible, moving it along. Because I mean, it is what it is. It is going to be from start to finish. It's probably going to be 8-9 hours of arm wrestling. And I recognize that's a big day, so I try to move it as much as possible.
Well, because I read online that you were expecting the open classes to start around 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we're talking 3 or 4 hours to run your open classes off.
Yeah.
So we're 8 o'clock at night before we finish up.
Yeah.
And then clean up and get out of there. That takes me another hour. So I'm getting out of there at 9:30
It's a
at
big
night.
day.
Yeah.
It's
No. That's.
Yeah.
I don't know what my wife's going to do all day, but she will not be at the arm wrestling tournament. So. But that's good. I don't think there's anything else we need to mention.
No, it's just if you miss this one, next year it's going to be a lot of the same type of stuff. So it's likely going to be the same time of year. Not committing anything just yet.
No, of course not.
But
you like this time of year?
Yeah, I used to do it. My regular date was in March, which is always the snow. End of March is not too big of an issue generally, but that's the danger of doing it in the winter is that you have a snowstorm and it ruins your turnout, right? So this weekend it's been unseasonably warm in Ottawa, so we lucked out this time.
Just like at home. I mean, the weather here is the same as at home. It's been unseasonably warm at home as well.
Right.
And even though, you guys have winter way worse than we do up here, but it's just been like we were still running under air conditioning before we left home.
Oh, wow.
So it's been very warm. Not that I'm complaining, because we came up to cover the Michigan States this year, and that was in April.
Right.
And when we woke up in Lévis to continue our journey, we were in a snowstorm. So the first 4 hours of the drive were a friggin' nightmare.
Okay.
But, and this is about as late as I like to, just because I can drive.
Right.
This is about as late in the year as I want to test. And it's not just Ontario. New Brunswick is really unpredictable for weather as
Right.
well.
Right.
So this is about the limit for me. Once
Right.
December hits, I don't consider driving.
Right.
Weather is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not bad. But like I said, this is going to air the week after the tournament. So hopefully it's a great, successful day for you. And by the time people are watching this, they should already be seeing maybe a video or two
Right.
from the action posted. I'll get home on the Wednesday after the tournament. I'll start collating all the footage and then editing on Thursday. So as I get video clips done, I try not to hold on to anything. Just
Right.
send them up. Let people watch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I try my best to get them out as fast as I can. Some
Yeah.
days are better than others, of course, but
Right.
I'm getting old, folks. But I appreciate you giving us a few minutes of your time,
All right.
Eric.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Bob.
you having us here as well. And
Yeah.
I look forward to an awesome day on Saturday.
Great.
Thanks very much.
All right.